You got into a car accident. The damage to your car is real. Your pain is real. But nobody called the police to the scene. And now you're not sure what you're supposed to do next. Hi, I'm Pablo Tamayo, and I've been helping people across Florida with car accident claims for nearly 2 decades. And this video will show you what you need to know when there's no police report for your accident. And if you miss even one critical step here, your entire claim could get denied, and you'll be stuck paying out of pocket for an accident that wasn't even your fault. This video walks you through exactly what to document, who to notify, and how to protect your case, even without an officer at the scene, so you don't end up holding the bill while the other driver walks away without any accountability. Number 1, stay calm and check for injuries. Right after a car accident, it's easy to panic, especially if you've never been in an accident before. The very first thing you should do is take a deep breath, check yourself and others in your car for injuries. If anyone is hurt, call for an ambulance immediately, even if the injuries just seem minor at the time. Your safety and anyone else's comes before anything else. Even if you think you feel okay, adrenaline can mask pain in the moment. Don't ignore soreness, dizziness, or any blood. It's not uncommon for some injuries, like whiplash or concussions, to show up hours or even days later. That's why you should always lean toward caution and get medical attention, regardless of whether the police were called. Now, if no one is seriously hurt and it's safe to do so, move your vehicle out of traffic. Florida law encourages you to get the vehicles off the road if possible to avoid causing more accidents. Turn on your hazard lights and set up cones or warning triangles if you have them. Number 2, exchange information with the other driver. Here's where things get practical. Just because there's no police report and police aren't called to the scene doesn't mean you're off the hook for gathering the basic facts. In fact, it's even more important that you do this yourself. Florida law says you must exchange certain information with the other driver after an accident. What does this include? What kind of information? Full name and contact information, driver's license, license plate number, insurance company name and policy number, make, model, and color of each vehicle in the accident. Be polite, but don't get into a debate about who caused the accident at the scene. Avoid saying things like, "I'm so sorry," or "it wasn't my fault," or "it was my fault." These words can end up being used against you later, even if you're just trying to be nice. If the other driver is refusing to cooperate, try to get at least their license plate number, and then look for witnesses nearby who might be willing to help confirm what happened. We always advise to try and call the police to the scene when you can, even if it takes more time and it's inconvenient. It's always a good idea. Number 3, document everything with photos and notes. This step is absolutely critical, especially when police have not been called and there's no police report. You are the primary investigator of your own crash. Get out your phone, take as many pictures as you can of the damage to all the vehicle, the location of the accident, the road conditions, skid marks, debris, traffic signs, and any visible injuries, if you can do it safely and respectfully. Don't forget to snap a photo of the other driver's license, insurance card, and license plate, if they let you. If they refuse, jot down every detail you notice about their car and their description, especially if they try and leave the scene without stopping to exchange information. Now write down a record of your voice memo of exactly what happened as soon as possible. Include the date, the time, the weather, and anything unusual you noticed, like if the other car ran a stop sign or visibility was bad. The more details you can record while your memory is fresh, the better. In Florida, insurance adjusters and courts, if it comes to it, put a lot of weight on timely, detailed statements. Let me give you a real-life example here in Florida. One client of ours was rear-ended in a parking lot. They didn't call the police because the other driver seemed helpful and admitted his fault at the time. But later, when the insurance got involved, he changed his story and completely blamed our client. Thanks to our client's photos, his notes, we were able to show exactly how the accident happened, even without an official police report. It was a big help in convincing the insurance company that their driver was at fault and that he wasn't being honest with them, and ultimately getting the claim paid for a very, very, very fair settlement. Number 4, gather witnesses and their contact information. Without a police report, independent witnesses are gold. If anyone saw the accident, maybe a pedestrian, cyclist, nearby homeowner. Go over and politely ask for their name and best contact number. Ask if they'd even be willing to describe what they saw later, if an insurance company or your lawyer needs to talk with them. Even if a witness is in a hurry, a quick video statement on your phone can be powerful evidence. Just ask, would you mind telling me what you saw? And let them speak. Don't coach them. Don't put words in their mouth. Their honest, unbiased account can make your case much, much stronger. Sometimes people even leave notes on your windshield or come up to you after an accident. Keep those notes safe and take a photo of them as backup. In Florida, witness statements is often tip the scales in insurance decisions, especially when there's no police investigation or no police report to fall back on. Number 5, report the accident to your insurance company. A lot of people think if there's no police report, the accident didn't really happen in the eyes of insurers. That is absolutely not true. In Florida, you should notify your insurance company about the accident as soon as possible. When you make that call, stick to the facts. Give them all the details you gathered, including the photos, the contact info, and the insurance info for the other driver, and any witness information you were able to get. If you have injuries, tell them, even if you're still waiting on a doctor's visit. Don't guess or exaggerate. If you don't know something, just say so. Not knowing a detail is better than guessing and guessing wrong about that detail, even if you didn't have a bad intent. They're going to use that against you later on. If the other driver's insurance company calls you, be careful. You are not required to give them a recorded statement. In fact, it's usually smart to talk to an attorney first, especially if you feel the other company is pushing you into a small settlement or trying to get you to accept blame for the accident. Number 6, file a crash report yourself. Most people don't know this, but in Florida, if an accident meets certain criteria and no police officer comes to the scene, you may still file your own crash report. This is called a driver report of traffic crash, and you can file it directly with the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. It isn't necessarily required by law, but it is a potential option. It is always still better to call the police from the scene and make a report that way. Filing your own report creates an official record that the accident happened and can potentially help with the insurance claim process. 7, get medical attention that you require. It's worth repeating. Always seek medical care if you feel any pain or dizziness or any symptoms after a car accident, even if you think it's just a minor accident. Florida's PIP, or Personal Injury Protection Insurance, requires you to get medical treatment within 14 days of the crash if you want to use your PIP benefits. If you wait, your right to reimbursement can disappear. Go to an urgent care, your primary doctor, an emergency room if it's required. Explain your symptoms in detail and describe the car accident. Documenting your injuries and your symptoms from the beginning is the best way to prove your damages. 8, keep track of all your expenses and your paperwork. When there's no police report, your evidence of what happened and what it cost you is your best friend. Keep every medical bill, prescription, repair estimate, rental car receipt if necessary, pay stubs if you had to miss work. Make a folder, paper or digital, and put everything in one place where it's easy to find and easy to get to your lawyer. This isn't just for insurance. If the other driver disputes your story of injuries, you'll want to show exactly how the crash affected you and what you had to pay out of pocket. Number 9, watch out for common mistakes. Let's talk about a few traps people fall into after a Florida car accident when there's been no police report. Leaving the scene without exchanging information. In Florida, that's actually a criminal offense. Not documenting enough. Take more photos than you think you'll need. Accepting quick cash from the other driver, hoping to just make it go away. It almost always leads to headaches later, especially if hidden injuries or damages continue to worsen over time. Waiting too long to tell your insurer or file your crash report. Deadlines matter in Florida. Giving a recorded statement to the other driver's insurance without legal advice. Don't do it. Even honest mistakes can cost you money or make it harder to win your claim later. 10. Know when to call a Florida personal injury attorney. The earlier you contact an attorney after your accident, the better. An experienced Florida accident attorney will know how to guide you through the claims process and avoid the various potential pitfalls in your claim. Being involved in an accident can leave you overwhelmed. That's where we come in. We handle accident cases all the time, and a good attorney can help you collect the right evidence, deal with the insurance company, and if needed, take your case to court. You don't have to fight the battle alone, especially when there's no police report to back you up and to support your story. What you've learned and what's next. So if you've been in a car accident in Florida and there's no police report and police were not called to the scene, you now know what to do. Stay calm, collect information, gather evidence, file the right reports, see a doctor, keep all your paperwork. And remember, you can always reach out for legal help. You deserve to be treated fairly. But here's something a lot of people ask after a crash. Can I receive compensation for total loss and still keep my motorcycle? The rules around total losses and salvage titles can get confusing fast, but the next video breaks it all down for you in plain English. If you want to protect your rights and maybe keep your bike, don't miss it. I'll see you over there.